Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. The JAMODI podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. So you mentioned a little bit about the way you split up practices. How does individual skill development work into your daily practice?
You know, I kind of thought about that, but it's obviously I don't think it's any different than what anyone does. But I wasn't really for sure on how to answer this, but it really just the build up into where, like, let's say we're going 1-on-0, and so guys are doing, you know, whatever move we have, you know, we got a cross jab, or we got the, you know, sticking it and finishing, you know, the different finishes and stuff that we have, and then advancing that to 1v1 basically.
Yeah.
Advancing it to 2v2, and just trying to get, like, maybe just one aspect accomplished with each one of those set up. Like, you know, for instance, like a 3v3 deal, you know, offensively on the skill development side of things, it may be that you have to catch the ball outside of the 3-point line, no matter what. And when you drive the basketball, you can't make the pass until you touch the paint. Yeah. You know, or something like that. So just I think incorporating it into that aspect, but we just kind of build it up to the 5-on-5. And then it just comes into, to me, I just feel like it just comes into play. Yeah. But you know, we have like a layup drill that we do that you know, we get the basketball and we rip it down the baseline and we work on different, you know, finishes there. And when we get into our offense, or we get out in transition, those are the things that we see the most of, and that's what we really like, I guess. You know, or that's what I really like. And so you just kind of see it. You just kind of see it just every once in a while. It just shows up. You know, some of the things that you've been working on. So, like I said, I'm not sure if I actually answered that question correctly, but I feel like just building up into it. You know, and I mean, I do feel like, I will say this, I do feel like, I mean, obviously the skill development and the individual stuff is very, very, very important. But I think at the end of the day, like, a kid that is just doing that, you know, the kid that's just doing that with nobody guarding them, that's not realistic. Yep. And so building up to that 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4 to 5-on-5, where, you know, you get forcing back closeouts and you're having to read those guys and attack on, you know, which foot was up, and you're attacking opposite of that, or whatever you suggest or prefer. So yeah, that's kind of my thought process on it.
Yeah, I think we don't just want cone warriors. You know, somebody that can just, dominate a cone all day long and look really smooth. And I think you nailed it. In my opinion, you nailed it. Where I had one coach say that skill development, all practice is skill development, every part of it, offensively, defensively. But I like your progression with 1-on-0 to small-sided games. And then, Coach, what you talked about, the 3-on-3 with restrictions. I mean, whether you realize it or not, like, there's some people that I feel like on the small-sided game side, you know, Alex Sarama, Chris Oliver, both those guys with basketball immersion, I feel like they're on the forefront they're the leaders in that right now. And they would say that 3-on-3 game you talked about, with having to catch it, having to get to the paint, that's it. Like, that's right on the money, because what you're doing, it's not just 3-on-3, roll it out, we're going to play. They're having to do things specifically that in games we want it to be instinctive. Well, it's not going to be instinctive unless they're being forced to do those actions again and again. And we can have them do it against 3-on-0. But like you said, you put a human being out in front of you. We've all seen those players that look great against no one. Put a human being, it's like, what happened to that guy? Absolutely. And so I think you're doing a great job with that.
Well, appreciate that.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.